Welcome to the Beer Untapped podcast. This is a show done by me, Perry Miller, and usually starring this guy.
Hey, this is Seth.
And this is a show about beer. Originally aired on the radio, but now we're making it available in this podcast as well.
Thanks for finding us through your favorite podcast station. If you guys are looking for live episodes of these, they do actually air in the Brookings area on the associated radio stations. Now that you found the podcast, you can get this anytime, anywhere. Thanks for downloading it. Enjoy one of the episodes that originally aired in Brookings.
Welcome to Beer Untapped. This is Beer Untapped with Perry Miller, the show that explores the wonderful world of craft beer. So just what is craft beer?
We get a lot of questions here at the pub, like what is craft beer? That it seems to be used so widely.
This is Seth Cook, by the way, head brewer and part owner at Wooden Legs Brewing here in Brookings.
What we default to when we describe craft beer is what our Brewers organization, really, how they define it. What the Brewers Association does is they actually define craft beer as breweries that are small, independent, and traditional.
So there you go. There are the keys for craft beer brewers. Small, independent, traditional. So if it comes from a corporate giant, it ain't craft. Seth will be a regular. We'll find out more about Wooden Legs in just a moment. So craft beer exploding across the country and in many areas of the world.
Last year in 2013, there was at least 2,700 operating breweries in some capacity. That is the largest number of breweries operating since the 1870s in the United States.
And it's happening right here at home. Seth and some friends were home brewers. It had been their dream for a while to open a brew pub.
We think that this town is ready for this atmosphere, for this product. So we started planning. 2010 is when we actually got our LLC for the company. So that to date how old this concept is. We later got another gentleman involved that I had worked with named Brant. That's kind of things where things really started rolling. We started perfecting our recipes in his garage.
They opened just about a year ago. They recently began distributing their beer statewide, and they're on pace to double their output this year. So we talked to Seth while there was brewing going on at Wooden Legs. Pretty cool. So now we have this brew pub here in Brookings where you can get craft beer and you can get it fresh.
People say often, keg beer tastes better or different than canned beer, and they're absolutely correct. A lot of that is the pasteurization, and the closer you get to the source, the earlier you get to the beer, the less it's been handled, the less that it's been moved, the less that it's been put in trucks, and the more fresh or closer to the source it is.
Hard to get it fresher than right where it was brewed. When Beer Untapped returns, we visit Pints and Quarts in downtown Brookings. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, Beer. Welcome back to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. Pints and Quarts is located in downtown Brookings, and it's not your average bar. Walk in, you'll likely notice the beautiful restored woodwork and the original tin ceiling in this 1895 building. Walk a little further and you'll see the bar, and behind the bar, 35 taps. 35 taps, and most of them are craft beer.
You almost get some sort of a freshness taste from straight from the brewery to the keg to the tap line. Plus, you're also helping out the environment by using taps instead of using cans or bottles.
That's Tyler Luckhurst, General Manager of Pints and Quarts and Beer Geek. Pints and Quarts is owned by Brennan and Lori Sullivan. Brennan, or Sully, is also a beer geek. They had a vision for a place that would cater to the beer lover. They also serve other fine spirits and some tasty burgers and appetizers as well. Pints and Quarts obviously means a lot to Lori Sullivan.
It's really a family here. Excuse me, I'm getting choked up. Our bartenders are knowledgeable, not just for beers, but for all the other things that we have that we carry. But they really are knowledgeable, and they do care about what we have.
So in the coming weeks, we'll hear about some of the great beers you can find at Pints and Quarts. Well, in fact, let's do that right now.
New Belgium Lawfully, which is a sour brown ale. It's a fantastic product by New Belgium in Fort Collins, Colorado. If sour brown ales aren't quite your thing, Odell 5-barrel pale ale on nitro, it's a little bit of a different take on a typical pale ale. And for those that might want to try something a little bit more creative and a little bit more different, we have Sierra Nevada Ovila Quad, brewed with sugar plums straight from the Abbey.
Pints and Quarts in downtown Brookings. Another place in Brookings for great craft beer is the Brookings Liquor Store, an ever-growing selection of world-class beer available year-round. One of the highlights for sure is the make-your-own six-pack cooler, which just moved to near the front of the store. Drew Eklund is one of the beer guys at the Brookings Liquor Store.
A lot of people weren't finding it back there. I think it's, as far as price and variety, it's got to be one of the best in the state. We've got pale ale, IPA, pilsners, porters, stouts, seasonals, wheat beer, assorted ales, lagers.
How about some of the new stuff that just came in?
A new one from Odell, Footprint Region Ale.
We should mention that one's kind of interesting because there's some South Dakota product in that beer.
Yeah, the barley and the honey come from South Dakota.
It's kind of cool.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. There's also a New Belgium and Odell collaboration. It's an American pale ale. Two of my favorite breweries teaming up. It's that kind of a unique take on a pale ale.
Another six-pack.
Finally, we wrap up this very first Beer Untapped with my pick of the week. Each episode, I'll pick out one beer that kind of strikes my fancy and tell you a bit about it. This week, it's the new Public House Ale at Wooden Legs, one of their beers brewed on site in the style of a traditional English bitter, as they're called, although by today's standards, they're really not all that bitter. It's an excellent, refreshing, easy-to-drink ale with just a hint of pleasant, lingering bitterness, low in alcohol, plenty of flavor. Give it a try. Hey, that's our show for this week. Thanks for listening. Next week, we explore what is the most popular style today among craft brewers, the IPA or India Pale Ale. Until then, drink local and drink responsibly. Find us online at brookingsradio.com and Beer Untapped on Facebook. Thanks for listening.